ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
Topic on discussion is the dipole theory of ferroelectrics. Before going to that particular topic, let us study the basic properties of Rochelli salt. Rochelli salt is a potassium sodium tartrate tetrahydrate. Chemical formula KNaC4H4O6 and 4 times of S2. It belongs to the family of uniaxial ferroelectrics. This was the first material in which Walasek discovered the ferroelectric phenomena in 1921, from which he also introduced the term Curie temperature and Curie point for ferroelectrics. Again, some important points about Rochelli salt. Rochelli salt has two Curie points. One is at plus 24 degrees centigrade called upper Curie temperature. The other one at minus 18 degrees Celsius called as lower Curie temperature. One is at plus 24 degrees Celsius, another one minus 18 degrees Celsius. The non-polar para-electric phases for T is greater than 24 degrees Celsius. When the temperature is greater than plus 24 degrees Celsius and minus 18 degrees Celsius, this is the region greater than 24 degrees Celsius and less than minus 18 degrees Celsius called as orthorhombic phases. The polar ferroelectric phase occurring at the temperature range between minus 18 degrees Celsius to plus 24 degrees Celsius is monoclinic. In brief, Rochelli salt has two Curie temperatures. One is at plus 24 degrees Celsius, another one is at minus 18 degrees Celsius. It exhibits two phases. One is if temperature is greater than 24 degrees Celsius and less than minus 18 degrees Celsius, phase we called as orthorhombic. Another phase called as ferroelectric phase, this occurs between temperature range is minus 18 degrees Celsius to 24 degrees Celsius called as monoclinic. In this figure, observe the dielectric constant of Rochelli salt as a function of temperature. Next comes to the particular topic, that is dipole theory of ferroelectricity. The dipole moment for unit cell may result partly from electronic and ionic displacements and partly from permanent dipoles. The earlier theories explaining the properties of Rochelli salt were based on the assumption that the permanent dipole moments of the H2O groups were responsible for the spontaneous polarization. We know that ferroelectric materials, they exhibit spontaneous polarization. In the earlier theories, the properties of Rochelli salts are based on the assumption the permanent dipole moments of H2O groups were responsible for the spontaneous polarization. These dipoles were assumed to be freely rotating, and the theory analogous to Langevin-Weiss theory of ferromagnetism. Two assumptions made in earlier regarding to the Rochelli salt. The properties of Rochelli salt were based on their permanent dipole moments of the H2O groups. These are responsible for spontaneous polarization. And another assumption, these dipoles they are rotating freely, and the theory analogous to Langevin-Weiss theory of ferromagnetism. These are the two important assumptions made in dipole theory of ferroelectricity. The internal field EI, which tends to orient a given dipole, is assumed to be of the form EI is equals to E plus gamma P, where E is the external applied field, gamma is the internal field constant, P is the polarization. For the high temperature region, the internal field form equation leads to Curie-Weiss law. Now observe in this figure, it is illustrating the torque exerted on a dipole by an electric field, and another figure Langevin function, slope is 1 by 3. We know that Langevin function is equals to the expectation value of cos theta, that is also equals to 1 by 3 times of A, where A is constant, that is equals to mu E divided by kt. And next, polarization is equals to n into mu into expectation value of cos theta, then it is equals to n into mu square divided by 3 kt multiplied by EI, where n is the number of dipoles per unit volume, mu is the permanent dipole moment. From equation 1 and 2, susceptibility is equals to polarization by external electric field. We know that P is equals to n mu square divided by 3 kt into EI from equation 2. This is equation 2. Then E is equals to, observe here some calculation, internal field is equals to E plus gamma P. Again rearranging the terms, substituting the value of P, finally we got E is equals to EI multiplied by 1 minus n gamma mu square divided by 3 kt. Substitute this value here, and from equation 2 polarization value, finally we got susceptibility is equals to C divided by T minus theta, where C is Curie constant, that is equals to theta by gamma, and Curie temperature denoted by theta is equals to n gamma mu square divided by 3k. In some authors they are using, in place of theta they are using Tc, critical temperature. Again from equation 2, substituting the value of Langevin function, where A is mu EI divided by kt, EI is E plus gamma P, where Lx is Langevin function. Now ask, does this equation provides a non-vanishing solution for P in the absence of an external field? We already know, if the ferroelectric material exhibits spontaneous polarization, meaning is E is equals to 0, absence of an external field. Put E is equals to 0 in equation 4, finally we catch P divided by N mu is equals to P divided by P saturation is equals to Lx. Here X denotes mu gamma P divided by kt, because in here E is 0, external field is 0. Again P divided by N mu is equals to KT divided by N mu square gamma multiplied by X, where N mu is equals to phase saturation, represents saturation polarization corresponding to the complete alignment of dipoles. Now look at this figure. The solution for P by P saturation corresponding to the temperature is determined by the intersection of Langevin function and the line of slopes KT1 divided by N mu square gamma. It is observed that as T decreases, the slope of the straight line decreases. The finally solution P by P saturation approaches to unity. Conclusion is, as the temperature decreases, the slope of the straight line decreases and solution P by P saturation approaches to unity. When the temperature is higher than critical value, then KTC divided by N mu square gamma is equals to 1 by 3, where 1 by 3 is slope, Langevin function slope, that is 1 by 3. From this expression, Tc is equals to N mu square gamma divided by 3k, that is equals to theta. It is observed that equation 5 and equation 6 intersects only at the origin. In other words, there is no spontaneous polarization for T is greater than theta. There is no spontaneous polarization for temperature is greater than critical temperature. It is observed that just below the Curie temperature, the spontaneous polarization increases rapidly. Final conclusion: if the temperature is less than critical temperature, spontaneous polarization exists. If the temperature is greater than critical temperature, there is no spontaneous polarization. This is about the dipole theory of ferroelectricity. Finally comes to conclusions. The Curie-Weiss law above the Curie temperature, the possibility of spontaneous polarization below the Curie temperature. If the temperature is less than Tc, then possibility of spontaneous polarization. And finally, the qualitatively correct temperature behavior of P by P saturation versus temperature in the ferroelectric region. Conclusions: Curie-Weiss law above the Curie temperature, the possibility of spontaneous polarization below Curie temperature, and qualitatively the correct temperature behavior of P by P saturation versus temperature in the ferroelectric region. Reference: Solid State Physics by A.J. Decker.